Hi, it's Angie, and welcome back to UK Money Wisdom. There's a truth, hidden in plain sight. Let me explain. We're told that Britain's debt is a national problem, that we all must tighten our belts. But here's the truth we're not being told. Much of that debt is actually owned by us, by pensioners and ordinary savers. Recent data shows that pension funds and insurance companies hold around 1/3 of government gilt holdings, because we've spent decades investing, saving and paying taxes. That's right, building the nation's wealth, us. Yet, while we finance Britain, policy after policy has turned against us because we are the easy targets. Today on UK Money Wisdom, we're going to unpack what's really happening and what must change to benefit both pensioners and the wider economy. So here's the reality behind the national debt. We've already seen that the government owes us pensioners and savers around 1/3 of the national debt. That's right. For that reason alone, we deserve to be treated as well as, if not better, than the ultra-wealthy asset owners. Now let's understand borrowing itself. Borrowing isn't bad. It's how governments fund pensions, healthcare and infrastructure, so ordinary people can stay healthy, educated and able to spend, driving growth into the economy. The problem is how it's being managed. The economy is growing at just 1.3%, while inflation remains above 3%. And that means our money buys less. And yet, the cost of servicing Britain's debt now exceeds £100 billion every year, more than the entire defence budget. Every pound paid in interest is a pound not spent on hospitals, care or pension security. As I explained, about 1/3 of Britain's £2.7 trillion debt is held by our pension funds and life assurance companies, the very institutions that pay our retirement incomes. So when the government borrows, it's often borrowing from us, from the people who worked, saved and invested over a lifetime. The truth is, pensioners are not a burden on the system. We are its backbone. We finance Britain, but receive little of the reward. So why does government policy fail pensioners? Instead of rewarding contribution, we see government policy increasingly favours ownership, meaning the ultra-wealthy asset holders. They enjoy property gains, tax reliefs and loopholes. This isn't about the working wealthy. I want to make that clear. The working wealthy already contribute. It's about the billionaire class, those who own assets, don't create jobs or spend in the real economy, and whose wealth sits idle while inequality widens. And don't believe the old argument that they'll leave the country if taxed fairly. They can't take their land and property with them. Meanwhile, ordinary pensioners face frozen allowances, stealth taxes and rising living costs. That's not just unfair, it's economically short-sighted. When pensioners lose spending power, local economies suffer. Every pound a pensioner can't spend is a pound not circulating through small shops, services and care jobs. It's staggering that the government thinks we won't notice. They protect the rich because the rich funds them through donations, and the rich control much of the media. And the result? A growing inequality gap between the ultra-rich and everyone else, including the middle class, also suffering. Now we know why the government quietly transfers wealth upwards. As debt interest costs rise, the Treasury quietly looks for savings from us by freezing tax bans and cutting local budgets instead of taxing wealth. The truth is, pensioners end up paying twice, first through taxation, then through weaker services. And the cruel irony? Much of the interest Britain pays flows straight back to investors and the already wealthy, which widens inequality even further. The government has built a system that rewards those who own capital and punishes those who earned it, hiding this truth behind media soundbites and political spin. We've heard it all. We are feeling the impact this has on pensioners' savings for retirement and the economy. A 4% savings rate might sound fair until inflation and tax reduce it to almost nothing. Meanwhile, large investors holding government bonds enjoy inflation-linked profits. And the harder we try to act responsibly, to save, to plan, to stay independent, the more the system works against us. A fairer structure wouldn't just help pensioners, it would strengthen the entire economy through spending, stability and trust. Yet, the government continues to damage that economy by protecting the ultra-wealthy. Why? Because too many politicians either don't understand the economic truth or are forced to follow a party line funded by billionaire interests. Here's what an honest government would and should do. Number 1, lift the personal allowance with inflation today so that pensioners keep more of what they've earned. Number 2, tax wealth fairly so property and investment gains by the ultra-wealthy are treated like income. 3, protect the triple lock, giving older citizens the stability they deserve in later life, because we funded the debt in the first place. 4, invest in care and green growth, creating jobs, real community value, and genuine economic growth. Because fairness isn't radical, it's smart economics. Pensioners with secure incomes spend locally, support younger generations, yes we do, and keep the real economy moving, yes we do, creating growth with dignity, not austerity. Now we know the truth. Pensioners aren't Britain's burden. We're the nation's quiet investors. If you believe the government should act with dignity and economic sense, rewarding contribution, not just property ownership, please like this video, share it, and importantly, subscribe to UK Money Wisdom for calm, clear explanations of how Britain's money really works and how we can make it work for everyone. Speak up to friends and family and write to your MP to stop this government from ruining our country. And tell me in the comments, which one change do you think would make the biggest difference for pensioners right now? Yes, we pensioners know the truth, all right. Awareness is the first step towards fairness, and fairness is how Britain will prosper again. Bye for now. I'm Angie. This is UK Money Wisdom, and I'll see you all again very soon.